What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about this particular video of an interview from the ex-girlfriend, baby mother of NFL quarterback Geno Smith. Now, apparently, for whatever reason, she decided to do this interview and just tell everything. She left nothing to the imagination whatsoever, or to her own personal, she literally went and did this interview with DJ Akademiks, and DJ Akademiks was he was in rare simp form. I believe he would probably tell you that too. He's lusting after her. Now people can say, well, he's putting on a show. Okay, fine. He's putting on a show. Whatever. Right? So he's into this particular female, who's 22, by the way. And I guess a couple of years prior, she had a kid with NFL quarterback Geno Smith, right? Former New York Jet, current Seattle Seahawk. Now, they were having this discussion, and they were getting into, well, Akademiks was, getting into about, her having an NFL player, baby's father, then having an NFL player boyfriend. She talked about how she dated a Tennessee Titan. She was engaged to this particular football player. She was dating a Los Angeles Raider who just so happened to be Josh Jacobs, the running back from the Los Angeles, not Los Angeles, but the Las Vegas Raiders. And all this came out during the interview. And another thing that came out is that she also tried to smash one of Geno's teammates. I mean, this chick is wilding out here in these streets. If you want to know the definition of for the streets, this particular female is definitely for the streets. And she also talked about how basically she's sort of in and out of relationships. She's never really invested 100% in relationships. But again, we are talking about a 22-year-old. We're talking about a female who became a single mother, I believe, when she was, 19? And the thing is this, right? You can tell that she has immaturity issues. You could tell that, she, if you listen to her story, listen to this interview, and I did. It was very riveting. I mean, she was, because I don't like to listen to too many long videos or live streams, but I wanted to get more context than what is being said in articles. I wanted to actually listen for myself. Now, they were saying, well, she let James Harden smash. Well, that's not true. She wants to get with James Harden. She's thirsty for James Harden. She's went into his DMs, but she has not yet gotten with James Harden. I think James Harden's plate is completely full right now. Okay. But when you look at this young female, all right, she's already a baby's mother. Okay. She's dating all these football players. It wasn't enough that she was dating football players from the opposite team. She actually tried to hook up with one of Geno Smith's teammates. And this is the definition of for the streets. If you wanted a modern day definition of for the streets, it would have to be this particular female. How you end up trying to hook up with your baby's father's teammate, even and also not only that, you're hooking up with all these other football players, and this is the mindset of these younger, I would say, millennials going into Gen Zers. These are the mindsets of these particular females, man. Like, they really don't know what loyalty is. They out here. They have just been wilding. They just have not had anybody to really rein them in. They have not had good people around them, you could tell. And also, when you listen to this particular female story, and she talked about how she dated a guy in his mid-20s when she was about 15, 16. Well, no, she was 16. Well, she met him when she was 15, 16. And you could just tell, man, she just has been ruined. No direction. Now, she said she had parents, but you never know how that relationship was. And that's where you have a lot of these women. A lot of these women who you see on social media who are attention seeking, because this is the definition of attention seeking. Even though she's being brutally honest, you have to look at it from a standpoint of she's being brutally honest for the sake of trying to grow her own following. Because as of me recording this video, she only has about 9,500 followers. All right. Now, she doesn't have an OnlyFans, right? I believe Geno's probably taking care of her because she doesn't have him on child support, you know. But just putting all of this out here, all the names that have been dropped, it's just very reckless. To me, it's very reckless because Geno, he seems like a guy who is not out there like that. Now, Geno Smith had a situation years ago where he was put on blast. This was in 2014, and ever since then, he's probably wanted to have a lower profile. But doesn't matter what type of low profile you want to have. If you have a child or any type of relations with a female who is just out here like that, who's in these streets, who's young, and you have a kid with her, bro, you're doing a lot of damage to yourself, and you are just as much to blame as she is. You have to be careful where you put your seed at, man, because you may end up putting your seed in somebody who could be the seed to your downfall. And we've seen it time after time after time. And one of the interesting things she said, and I was like, what? Is the fact that she said that she only had relations with Geno like what, 3 times? She had relations with Geno Smith 3 times. 3. Because after she had the kid with him, they didn't really do anything else after that, which lets me know he probably realized he messed up. You know? And man, what is it with us, especially these athletes? These guys should know better. Because once again, you cannot get upset with these women when they do these things. If you're participating and having relations with these females, and you know, having kids with them, when you have to protect yourself and you have to protect your seed, you have to understand that, you know, if I do this, there's a chance that she may get pregnant. But these guys don't think about that until, you know, these type of things happen. Now, with these athletes, like with her mentioning, you know, her date. She also said this about Josh Jacobs, running back from the Las Vegas Raiders. She talked about how, you know, he may or may not have made some subtle threats to her. Again, recklessness. And Josh Jacobs, if he knows what's good for him, he will keep a distance from her and will not deal with her ever again. But we know that these guys mentally, they get so caught up in trying to control these women and trying to still deal with these women, even though they're only damaging themselves. We've seen it with Von Miller, his situation with the female he clearly tried to keep around, but little did he know that she was documenting the things that he was saying behind the scenes and would eventually put it out. If you don't want to be with these chicks and you think that these chicks are detrimental to you and what you're doing and your brand, you need to cut it off. You need to not take it that far. That's what you need to do. Don't get mad at me for speaking about this. You need to be careful about who you're dealing with, because they're putting all of this information out here for everybody to consume. Now, she didn't badmouth Geno. She basically talked about her life as a cleat chaser, because that's basically what she is. She's a 22-year-old cleat chaser. And what was more hilarious about the video was that it made Akademiks want to chase her even more. And I also want to say this in regards to the James Harden part of this. And she spoke about how James Harden is her ideal dude, right? Basketball player. I'm telling you, man, a lot of these, especially these modern day females, man, these wayward modern day females, their ideal guy is a tall basketball player type dude. All right. Even though you have this particular female, right? She's dating all these football players. even was engaged to one, has a kid with one. Her ideal guy is a basketball player. A basketball player. I mean, James Harden is a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's making a lot of money, well known, but he's not even really giving her the time of day. And, you know, and she's out here talking about how she's sliding into his DMs. She's sliding into his DM. She wants his attention, and he's not really giving her no attention. You know? And I'm telling you, man, a lot of these modern day females, again, she's 22. Their ideal guy is one of these basketball players or one of these rappers. You know, that's what they aspire to date. That's what they look for in regards to seeking a mate out here.